day. This is a day that inspires many South Africans and other Africans, of course, to give back through 67 minutes of service. But many organizations say the need doesn't end there. DKMS Africa is actually encouraging individuals as well as businesses to support charities throughout the year through ongoing partnerships, through skills sharing and long-term commitment, if you will. So I'd like us to unpack this and look at why sustained support matters, and use DKMS as an example of how they do this. How do they make sure that they make a lasting difference? And just for context, by the way, DKMS Africa is a non-profit that works to give people with blood cancers and blood disorders a second chance at life by recruiting stem cell donors, raising awareness, very important, and of course supporting patients in need of life-saving transplants. On the line with me, Palesa Mokomele is joining me on the line. Actually, she is the head of community engagement and communication at DKMS Africa. Palesa, welcome to Channel Africa. Pleasure to connect with you.
Thank you for having me, Mmatsheko.
Thank you. I did briefly mention the work of the nonprofit DKMS Africa. Let's talk about just your plans perhaps for this month. We'd like to know what you are embarking on this July, especially as we lead up to Madiba Day.
So we have several things happening. We are continuing our efforts to recruit donors. This is work that is taking place on a continuous basis for us. We recruit donors all over the country using our online platforms as well as with our team on the ground. We also will be doing an event with CHOC, which houses children who are diagnosed with cancers across the country. So that's something that we're going to be doing in the office as the staff to another organization that's in the same space as us. We also have an event happening in Soweto, an education event that will teach people about cancer early warning signs to, ensure that our message is also hitting people on the ground. So that's going to be happening at Maponyamo this coming Friday.
Okay, so there's a lot going on, and I think I like this idea of really collaborating meaningfully with other organizations, in the same space, as it were. But from a DKMS Africa perspective, point of view, experience, if you will, what kind of long-term support makes the biggest difference, especially to nonprofit organizations?
So the biggest support for us is this kind of continuous engagement with organizations, corporates, with communities to help us drive the message that I think Mandela Day is just one day in the calendar of our country. But people having interacted with Udadu Nelson Mandela, having understood what he stood for and what he was trying to encourage us to do, is that we shouldn't stop, doing this country duty because we've only limited to 67 days. So DKMS is advocating for people who can register to be stem cell donors and those who also can't, to fund us to host donor drives and to dedicate time throughout the year to help us drive the message of stem cell donation and to give patients hope that they will get a matching stem cell donor.
A lot of the, blood donation or stem cell donation, it's still very new to some people. And if I'm able to catch this conversation, whether it's today or a little bit later on, because the work is ongoing, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm interested. I would love to know how I can help, but I don't really know where to start. Just give us some simple ways as to how people can learn about the work of DKMS Africa and then participate, in meaningful ways and donate, and what donation actually, requires of an individual at this time.
Okay. So in South Africa, a person is diagnosed with a blood cancer or blood disorder every hour, which means that the lack of education, I think particularly among Black people, is really um, it's at a big scale because, as you've said, that a lot of us don't know about these topics. And so what we do is to drive a lot of education campaigns online, offline, and partner with different organizations. Because there is something we can do when someone has been diagnosed with a blood stem cell, with a blood cancer or blood disorder, and where they need a stem cell transplant. If the public would like to find out more about the process, they can go onto our website, but it's quite easy. If you are between the ages of 17 and 55, you can register to be a stem cell donor, whereby you donate your stem cells to someone who is a patient and with whom you are a matching stem cell, where your stem cells match. So unlike blood donation, where it goes depending, or you donate depending on your blood type, a stem cell donor requires that you have a matching you have matching proteins with the person to whom you will donate. So it's a bit of a longer process. It's a bit more technical than blood donation. But I think the message here is that when a patient has been diagnosed with a blood cancer or blood disorder, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the world. There is something that we healthy people can do to help them, and that is by registering to become a stem cell donor.
Absolutely. This is such important work, and the awareness projects that you mentioned are very critical at community level, so that people that will be affected in whatever way, directly or indirectly, know exactly what stem cells are, how to donate and how to participate, and you just never know when you're going to need the help. So this is incredibly critical. We continue the conversation with Palesa Mokomele, Head of Community Engagement and Communication at DKMS Africa.
Vue d'Afrique avec Joël Mouteba.
Oui, la plupart des personnes qui dérangent, la plupart des personnes qui critiquent ne sont pas aujourd'hui à l'intérieur du pays, elles sont à l'extérieur du pays. Donc c'est à partir de l'extérieur du pays qu'ils sont en train d'enflammer la situation au niveau du pays, qu'ils sont en train d'attiser le feu au niveau du pays. Donc pour pouvoir mettre la main sur ce genre de personnes, il faut que les gens qui sont avec eux là-bas à l'extérieur puissent agir pour le compte du gouvernement. Ce que les autorités redoutent, c'est comme une situation qu'on a vécue par le passé, au temps où même c'était un régime démocratique. Il y avait des Nigériens, parce qu'ils sont à l'extérieur du pays, ils pensent qu'ils peuvent échapper à la justice et ils faisaient des publications et faisaient des audios de tendance à perturber l'ordre public.
Vue d'Afrique, du lundi au vendredi de 15h à 16h.
A legacy isn't a statue or a name carved in a stone. A legacy lives in what people do next. Mandela Month on Channel Africa.
All right, thank you very much for staying with us here on the Journal. We continue looking at, developmental work at a community level and awareness that has been created around stem cell donation, and also how we can use that as an example to really continue doing work that is meaningful at a community level. I beg your pardon, beyond the 67 minutes of Mandela Day. We speak to Palesa, who is Head of Community Engagement and Communication at DKMS Africa. They do such amazing work in really trying to teach you and I about blood cancers and blood disorders, but they also really give people a second chance at life, okay, through the work that they are doing. It's so important at this time. But let's look at some examples. I think because the organization has been in existence for a number of years, as I understand it, since 2021, talk to us about, one or two examples perhaps where sustained support has actually made a difference, really transformed the lives of the people that it serves.
So when we started in 2021, our registry, which is the people who are registered as stem cell donors, was had about 19,000 people, I think, under 19,000 people. In the years that we've been around, we have recruited 200,000 people. And this enormous jump has been and can be attributed to the kinds of partnerships that we have built. These haven't only been kind of from a monetary perspective, but it's been from civil society organizations, from the healthcare, organizations that work in hospitals, within healthcare, who recognize that there is an issue, and that it's not an issue that can be, resolved or solved by one organization. We, for example, have worked quite extensively with universities and colleges to explain, what we do to students, to engage them and to recruit there. The second thing, which I think is really significant, is that a stem cell transplant is possible with people of the same ethnic group, right? So if you are Caucasian, chances of you donating to someone who is Black are very, very slim. And therefore we need as many people, or as diverse people on the registry as possible. What is a point of pride for me as someone from DKMS Africa is that when we started in 2021, our registry didn't represent the demographics of South Africa. It was mostly Caucasian. And now this has flipped. It is more representative of our demographics. We have more brown people on the registry. We've put in a lot of effort in terms of translating the message in different languages, speaking to people in a way that they're able to understand and digest. And in this way, we've been able to not only grow the donor pool, but we're seeing that more and more Black people are getting donors, and more people are getting a second chance at life, which was something that was not possible about 5-6 years ago. So I think the work that we do has the potential to really change the landscape of healthcare in South Africa, and in the continent itself. But what we do need are partners that are willing to join us to spread the message, to fund the work that we do, and to also just kind of walk this journey with us and to ask questions when they don't understand, because it also is a sensitive topic. For us, from a cultural perspective, we understand that, but it's very encouraging that we've grown so much in the 5 years that we've been around. And I think we're going to grow much, much more in the next 5 years.
Absolutely. I mean, I had an uncle who passed away many years ago from leukemia. And, at the time, it was many years ago, it would have been so nice to have, DKMS Africa participate, or for me to know about them, and we could get him assistance. So you really don't know when you are going to need this help. This is so important. And thank you for that. I'm really glad I asked you that question around, where have we seen the difference? Because this is the thing. People need to understand that they could be affected at any time, and your participation in your ambassadorship, even you just sharing with the next person that that there's an organization known as DKMS Africa, and this is how you can contribute to the stem cell donor registry, is you participating and being an ambassador of the work. So let's continue to do the good work. But perhaps as we're about to wrap up, Palesa, let's talk about many organizations are looking for these types of opportunities where they can team up with you and really do the work. A lot of organizations, especially where I move around, do not just want to do the once off corporate social responsibility thing that's been done in the past, where we've just done one thing and then that's it. We want the ongoing, the lasting partnerships with organizations like yourselves. So let's talk about how organizations can hop on board, as in today, to really help to grow South Africa's stem cell donor registry right now.
So I know that a lot of organizations have thriving workforces that want to do, country duty. They want to be involved in societal issues. And I would say to HRs, corporate services, invite DKMS to do a donor drive. We do these donor drives every single day. We have an extensive team nationally that will come in, set up a table, and engage your staff and explain how the process works and register them. For organizations, we also ask them to fund us or to donate funds to us when they are at a stage where they're ready to do so. So those CSI budgets can also be shared so that we can replicate our work and make sure that we reach as many people as possible, because it costs quite a lot of money to have a mobile team. We also have partners in different facilities. We have a project called Access to Transplantation, where we are partnering with state departments and public facilities, public healthcare facilities, to put more beds in transplant rooms to make sure that we can transplant as many people as possible. So we were going to launch this in the next quarter of 2026, and we'll give more details. But I think the first thing is that corporates can go onto our website and basically invite us to come and register donors in their organizations, and hopefully also fund us monetarily.
Okay, so head to they're very Googleable. Just type in DKMS Africa and all the pages will appear so that you can find out more information and do the Lord's work. Okay, very important. Palesa, thank you for the time, and bravo for the work that you've done, and all the best for the upcoming projects for Mandela Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Palesa Mokomele, Head of Community Engagement and Communications at DKMS Africa.
The Journal with Mosito. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus.